I didn't scream when I saw the notification. It was a Tuesday. I was in the break room at work, halfway through a sandwich I didn't want. My phone buzzed once, then again. I almost ignored it. Asteral. Withdrawal, $390,000. Asteral, the few seconds, my brain rejected the number. It didn't even feel real. It felt like a formatting error. Then I saw the account number. The account I had been building for 10 years. 10 years of promotions declined because relocation would have meant leaving my parents without help. 10 years of living in a smaller apartment than I could afford. 10 years of quietly saying no to vacations, weddings, luxuries. 10 years of being the responsible one. I didn't call the bank first. I drove to my parents' house. They were both in the living room. My father was reading the newspaper. My mother was cutting fruit in the kitchen. It looked ordinary. Peaceful, even. I saw the withdrawal, I said. My father didn't look surprised. He folded the paper carefully before setting it aside, as if we were about to discuss the weather. Yes, he said. Good. Saves us explaining. There was something rehearsed in his calm. For what? I asked. He leaned back in his chair and actually smiled. For your brother's investment. He's opening a logistics company. It's time someone in this family builds something meaningful. I waited. Then he added, lightly, almost playfully, thanks for your naivety. Your money has now secured your brother's bright future. My mother didn't meet my eyes. And that's when I laughed. I didn't mean to, it just slipped out. A short, startled sound. My father frowned. What's funny? I shook my head. Nothing. They thought it was shock, maybe hysteria. It wasn't. It was recognition. When you grow up in a house like mine, you learn patterns before you learn words for them. My brother forgot to apply for university. He's creative. He needs freedom. I worked 2 part-time jobs in college. You're strong. You can handle it. He crashed the car. I paid the deductible. He quit jobs. I covered utilities, temporarily. I wasn't unloved. That would have been easier. I was useful. The reliable one. The reasonable one. The daughter who understood sacrifice. About 6 months ago, my mother had started asking strange questions. Do you still keep everything in one place? Your father says joint family accounts are safer. Your brother is thinking big. He just needs backing. Something in her tone made me uneasy. So I did something small, quiet. I moved the majority of my savings into a structured property acquisition fund tied to a conditional loan agreement. The account they still had partial legacy access to? I left a significant amount there, not everything. Enough to look complete, enough to tempt someone who believed they were entitled. I didn't expect them to take it, but I prepared in case they did. Call him, my father said now, mistaking my silence for surrender. Congratulate your brother, this is family. You'll benefit too when his company succeeds. I'm sure, I said. I took out my phone, but not to call my brother. I called the bank's direct line. There are moments in life when authority enters a room without physically being there. The compliance officer spoke calmly. Clearly, yes, Ms. Rahman. The conditional structure on your fund has been activated. Activated, a pause. The withdrawal from the linked account triggered the collateral review. As per the agreement, any significant external movement initiates a freeze pending verification of authorization and intent. My father's expression shifted slightly. I didn't authorize it, I said. Understood. We've flagged it as potential fiduciary breach. The transferred funds are currently restricted. Further, the loan disbursement for the property you reserved last quarter remains protected under separate holding. Silence filled the room. My mother stopped cutting fruit. What does that mean? My father asked sharply. I turned the phone so they could hear the officer's next sentence. It means the withdrawn amount cannot be legally utilized until the review concludes. If unauthorized access is confirmed, liability may extend to the parties who initiated the transaction. Liability, not revenge, not punishment, procedure. The call ended politely. I placed my phone down on the table. You trapped us? My father asked. No, I said evenly. I protected myself. My brother's bright future wasn't gone. It was paused, entangled, under scrutiny. And none of it was dramatic. No police at the door, no shouting. Just paperwork moving in quiet runes we could not control. The strangest part wasn't their anger, it was their confusion. They genuinely believed I would absorb this, like I always had. That I would protest emotionally, then comply practically. They had mistaken restraint for weakness. I would have helped him, I said finally, if he had asked. If you had asked. My father scoffed, but there was uncertainty behind it now. You're overreacting. No, I replied. I'm reorganizing. I stood up. For 10 years I saved for a house, for stability. I thought if I built enough security, maybe I'd finally feel equal here. I looked at my mother. She looked smaller than I remembered. But equality doesn't come from money, it comes from boundaries. I didn't threaten legal action. The bank was already handling its side. I didn't demand apologies. I knew better. I just said, from now on, my accounts are mine. My decisions are mine. If you need help, you can ask. But you won't access anything without my consent again. My father didn't respond. He had lost something intangible in that moment, not money but assumption. The investigation took weeks. The funds remained frozen. My brother called once, angry, confused, insisting I was sabotaging him. I didn't touch your business, I told him. You built it on money that wasn't yours. Eventually, the bank determined unauthorized access had occurred under outdated credentials. The money was returned to my protected structure. The joint access was permanently revoked. No arrests. No public disgrace. Just documentation. I finalized the purchase of my apartment 3 months later. I didn't invite them to see it. Not out of spite. Out of recalibration. When I think back to that afternoon, my father thanking me for my naivety, I don't feel rage. I feel clarity. They took what they thought was mine. They didn't realize the real shift wasn't in the account. It was in me. I stopped being the family's safety net, and I started being my own foundation.